Good evening, everybody. I welcome you all to my fourth and final lecture on the concept of magnetically coupled circuits. In my previous lectures, that is, in first and second lecture, we have seen the theoretical concepts of magnetically coupled circuits. In the previous third lecture, we have seen some of the tutorials on the concept of magnetically coupled circuits. So in today's lecture, we are going to continue the tutorial session on the magnetically coupled circuits. So for this sum, he has asked us to find the dotted equivalent or electrical equivalent of a coupled circuit and determine the current flowing through 10 ohm resistor. So here, this is the transformer. So this is the primary coil, this is the secondary coil. Self-inductance of the primary coil of transformer is given as J4 ohms, and self-inductance of the secondary coil of the transformer is given as J5 ohms. The current indications of the current I1 and I2 in both the transformers are indicated. The mutual inductance between these two coils is given as J2 ohms. So redrawing the given circuit according to our convenience. So I can treat the primary coil of the transformer as one coupled coil and the secondary coil of the transformer as another coupled coil, and dots are placed at the top of each coupled coil. So this I can redraw in this manner. So as you can see, self-inductance of the transformer primary is J4 ohms, transformer secondary inductance is given as J5 ohms, and mutual inductance between the two coils is J2 ohms. So this I have to convert into electrical equivalent applying dot rule. As you can see, if the current here is entering the dotted terminal, so I'll get positive here and negative here for a dependent source, and in this the current direction is entering the dotted terminal, and here also I'll get positive at the dotted end and negative at the undotted end. So indicated. So since m value is J2, here I'll get J2 I1, I'll get J2 I2 in the first coil. So applying KVL to both the meshes will give me the KVL equations, and on solving the KVL equations by Cramer's rule, I2 is nothing but delta 2 by delta. So on simplification, you will get the I2 value to be 6.5 at an angle 128.2 amps. I'll leave the calculation part to you as an exercise. So the next 11th sum asks us to find the coefficient of coupling for the magnetically coupled coils if power dissipated in 10 ohm resistor is 40 watts. So power dissipated is 40 watts, which is I square R. R value is 10 ohms. From that, I value will be 2 amps. Total impedance of this circuit, Z will be R plus J XL equivalent. The magnitude of Z can be written as magnitude of voltage by magnitude of current, or the root over R square plus XL equivalent whole square. So 10 square plus XL equivalent whole square is equal to magnitude of voltage, which is 50, divided by magnitude of current, which is 2. From that I'll get XL equivalent to be 22.91 ohms. As you can observe that the current is entering at the dotted end of the first coil as well as the second coil. So it is series aiding. L equivalent will be L1 plus L2 plus 2M. Multiplying by omega on both sides, omega L equivalent is omega L1 plus omega L2 plus 2 omega M. Omega L equivalent is nothing but XL equivalent. Omega L1 is XL1, omega L2 is XL2. XL equivalent we have obtained to be 22.91. XL1 is given as 8, XL2 is also given as 8. From that, omega M is 3.45 ohms. We all know the relation between K, L1, L2 and M. K is equal to M by root over L1 into L2. Multiplying and divide by omega, K will be omega M by root over omega L1 into omega L2. Omega M is 3.45, omega L1 and omega L2 are 8 respectively. And that coefficient of coupling will be 0.43. The 12th sum, to find equivalent inductance for this coupled coil. Here the coupled coils are not connected in series, hence the earlier method of finding equivalent inductance will not be valid here. We should find the electrical equivalent, and then from that we will find the equivalent inductance for this coupled coil. The first step is to assume some voltage E and assigning branch currents as well as mesh currents. Assuming mesh currents to be I1 and I2, and that branch currents will be I1 in this branch, the current in this branch will be I2, and current in this branch will be I1 minus I2. The next step is to convert this into frequency domain, that is 2 Henry becomes j omega 2, 3 Henry will become j omega 3, 1 Henry is j omega 1, 2 Henry j omega 2, and 2 Henry will be j omega 2. So convert everything in frequency domain. So now we have to draw the electrical equivalent of this coupled circuit in frequency domain. We all know that the number of self-induced EMF will be only one, and the number of mutually induced EMFs will depend upon the number of coupling existing. So if I consider the first coil, here as you can see, the first coil has only one magnetically coupling with the second coil. Hence this coil will have one self-induced EMF and one mutually induced EMF. We all are aware that the mutually induced EMF is indicated by dependent source. If I consider the second coil, it has two couplings, one magnetically coupled with the first coil and another coupling with the third coil. Hence the second coil has one self-induced EMF and two mutually induced EMFs. And when I consider the third coil, it has only one magnetic coupling with the second coil. Hence it will have one self-induced EMF and one mutually induced EMF. So after finding out the number of self-induced and mutually induced EMF, now coming to polarity of mutually induced EMF. Anyhow, the polarity of self-induced EMF will depend upon the direction of current that is entering into the coil. As already indicated, the self-induced EMF polarity. Now let us see the polarity of mutually induced EMF. So when I consider the first coil, so here the current flowing in the first coil is I1 minus I2, and this current that is flowing in the first coil will induce mutually induced EMF in the second coil, since these two coils are magnetically coupled. So this current I1 minus I2 is entering at the dotted end of the first coil. Since this current is entering at the dotted end of the first coil, the neighboring coil dotted end will have positive polarity and the undotted end will have negative polarity as shown. So now let me take the second coil. So if I consider the second coil is magnetically coupled with both first coil as well as the third coil. First let me consider first two coils. Since here in the second coil the current is entering at the undotted end of the second coil, so wherever the undotted terminal is located in the first coil, there I'll get positive polarity and the dotted end will get negative polarity. Similarly, this second coil also is magnetically coupled with third coil. So wherever undotted end is in the third coil, there I will get positive polarity, and the dotted terminal will get negative polarity. So next, the third coil. The third coil is magnetically coupled with the second coil. Here the current is entering at the undotted terminal of the third coil. So wherever the undotted terminal is located in the second coil, there I'll get positive polarity, and the dotted terminal will have negative polarity. So these are the polarities of mutually induced EMF. So after obtaining the polarities of the mutually induced EMF, now we have to write the respective expressions for self-induced EMF as well as mutually induced EMF in all the three coils. First, let me consider the first coil. The inductance of the first coil is J omega 2 ohms, and the current flowing through the first coil is I1 minus I2. Therefore, the self-induced EMF in the first coil will be J omega 2 into I1 minus I2. Now considering the second coil, the self-inductance of the second coil is J omega 2, and the current flowing through it is I2. Therefore, self-induced EMF of second coil will be J omega 2 into I2. When I consider the third coil, the self-inductance of the third coil is J omega 3. The current flowing through it is I2. Therefore, the self-induced EMF of the third coil will be J omega 3 into I2. Coming to the mutually induced EMF in the first coil, the mutual inductance existing between first coil and third coil is J omega 1, and the mutually induced EMF in the first coil is due to the current I2. Therefore, mutually induced EMF in the first coil will be J omega 1 into I2. Similarly, if I consider the second coil has magnetically coupled with first coil as well as the second coil. So the mutually induced EMF in the second coil will be due to first coil as well as the third coil. First, considering the first coil, the current flowing in the first coil is I1 minus I2, and the mutual inductance existing between these two coils, that is the first coil and the second coil, is J omega 1. Therefore, mutually induced EMF in second coil will be J omega 1 into I1 minus I2. Similarly, there is also magnetically coupling between second coil and third coil. So the mutual inductance between second coil and third coil is J omega 2, and the current flowing in the third coil is I2. Therefore, mutually induced EMF in the second coil due to the third coil is J omega 2 into I2. And lastly, the third coil. The third coil is magnetically coupled with second coil. Therefore, the current flowing in the second coil is anyhow I2. Therefore, the mutually induced EMF in the third coil will be J omega 2 into I. So these were the respective self-induced EMF and mutually induced EMF in all the three coils. So after obtaining the electrical equivalent, now we have to apply the KVL to both the meshes. So after applying KVL, we'll get the following equations in both the meshes, considering both the equations as equation 1 and equation 2. So after obtaining the mesh equations, writing them in matrix form, applying the Cramer's rule, and here in order to find the equivalent inductance, we have to find the ratio of E and I1. So it is enough if I find the value of I1, which is delta 1 by delta. So according to Cramer's rule, I'll get the following expressions for delta as well as delta 1. After obtaining delta and delta 1, I1 will be nothing but delta 1 by delta. From that expression I can find the ratio of E by I1, and after obtaining the ratio it will give me the self equivalent inductance of the entire coupled circuit to be 17 by 13 Henries. So these are some of the sums that I leave an exercise for you to solve on your own. I mentioned the answers by which you can cross check your solutions. So this is the end of today's lecture, and this brings an end to my series of lectures on the concept of magnetically coupled circuits. Thank you.